Andrew, I'm stuck.
You're gonna carve 21 lines into your stomach, one for every piece that you fucking broke.
Your fucking dreams. But in the end, there's only one way out for girls like me. Surrender and hope for the best.
Millie drives her car to the Winchester mansion. She had applied for a maid's job at this house. The owner, Nina Winchester, greets her at the door. The interview follows a full tour around the house. The house is spotless. Millie asks why Nina even wants a maid. Nina tells her that she's expecting, so she can take all the help that she can get. Nina gives Millie some money for gas and tells her that she will call if she gets the job. Millie drives back, knowing that she wouldn't get a return call once they do a background check on her. See, Millie spent 10 years in prison. Everything on her resume is a lie. The girl spends the night in her car. In the morning, Millie gets a call from Nina. She has been hired and can start this afternoon. When Nina arrives at the mansion, she sees the groundskeeper Enzo fixing a lamp. She tries talking with him, but he only glances her way briefly before returning to his work. This time, the house is a mess. Clothes thrown everywhere. Dirty dishes piled in the kitchen. Nina shows up and tells Millie to start her duties right away. Nina mentions she's busy writing a PTA speech, so Millie will have to handle everything alone. Nina's husband Andrew and daughter Cece arrive, spotting Millie dusting the chandelier. They wonder who this stranger is. Nina informs them that Millie is the new live-in maid. Andrew greets her warmly, but Cece stays cold and distant. Millie notices the way Andrew smiles. For a second, she forgets where she is. After a long, hard day of working around the house, Millie heads to her room. She notices something odd. The door has a lock only on the outside, and the window won't open. Nina explains it used to be a storage room for Andrew's files, but she'll have the handyman take care of it soon. Millie crashes on the soft mattress, her first real rest after weeks on the cold car seat. In the morning, she rushes downstairs to find Nina in a rage. Nina accuses Millie of throwing out the PTA speech she had written earlier. Andrew walks in and calms her down. Millie apologizes and starts cleaning up the mess. She is fed up with this woman's mood swings. Heading out to take the trash, she sees Enzo staring right at her. "You shouldn't be here," he says. Then he sees Nina. He goes back to his work. Millie pauses. Something about him isn't right, but she brushes it off. While scrubbing the toilet, she sees a strange pill. She tries to open the medicine cabinet, but Nina appears behind her and tells her to go away. Nina's mood is grumpier and more irritated than ever. Millie figures it's probably the pregnancy hormones acting up. On her day off, Millie heads for the door to go outside, but Nina blocks her path. She demands Millie stay home. After all, Nina missed her salon appointment earlier because of the speech Millie threw out. But her past isn't done with her yet. Millie visits her parole officer. The officer warns her, stay out of trouble and keep the new job, or go back to prison. On her way out, Millie's phone rings. It's Nina. She demands Millie pick up Cece from ballet class. When Millie arrives, another mom, Patrice, explains that Cece is spending the night at their house. It was arranged weeks ago. Confused, Millie heads home. She finds Andrew's mother sitting on the sofa with Nina. The old lady had brought a beautiful set of china dishes for Andrew. That night, Millie tosses and turns, unable to sleep. She wanders to the TV lounge, puts on a show, and starts eating some snacks. Andrew comes there too, and they start talking. He listens. Not like most people. Millie feels something she hasn't felt in years. Safe. He shares that Nina has no parents. They died in a fire years ago. Just as they start warming up to each other, Nina walks in and tells Andrew to go to bed. She then turns to Millie. "This isn't working. You're fired." Millie begs for another chance. She knows losing this job means going straight back to prison. Nina gives Millie another chance. "Don't make me regret this," she says, almost threatening. Over the next few days, Millie keeps her head low. One day, Nina's friends visit. Once Nina steps away, the ladies gossip behind her back. She's been in and out of the psychiatric ward, and she needs to get her act together if she wants to keep a perfect husband like Andrew. Millie overhears it all, but stays quiet. Deep down, she agrees. Nina doesn't deserve Andrew. Andrew is perfect. Nina and Andrew head out, leaving Cece behind alone with Millie. Millie tries being friendly with the girl, but Cece remains icy cold. Andrew and Nina return home. Nina's furious and storms straight to her room. Andrew confides in Millie. Nina is infertile. He adds that Cece isn't his biological daughter, but he tries to be the best husband and father he can. In the middle of the night, shouting erupts from the bedroom. Millie rushes over to check if everything's okay. The door opens. Nina is gripping a sharp piece of broken glass with blood on it. Worried for Andrew's safety, Millie yells his name. He steps up behind Nina, gently taking the shard from her hand before shutting the door behind him. The next morning, Nina approaches Millie and apologizes for the night before. She asks Millie to arrange a full weekend getaway for her and Andrew to make up for all the trouble she's caused. Millie agrees. At Cece's ballet practice, Millie chats with another maid, Suzanne. Suzanne whispers that Nina once tried to drown Cece, then overdosed on pills afterwards. Andrew saved them both and got her to the hospital for rehab. Coming home, Millie sees an angry Nina yelling about how Millie booked tickets to a hotel. When Millie tries to explain, Nina starts yelling even more and tells Millie that the money for these tickets will come out of her paycheck. Luckily, Andrew reassures Millie that she doesn't have to pay anything. Cece and Nina head out for the art camp in DC, while Andrew and Millie stay behind. Andrew tells Millie that he couldn't get the tickets refunded and that they both should go to the event together. It'll be a fun night, and Nina would never know. Millie and Andrew hop in their car and head for the hotel. They watch a movie, then have dinner together. The whole night fills with romantic tension. At the hotel, they enter their separate rooms. Millie charges up her phone and spots Nina's messages. Millie is fired for not replying sooner. Panicking, she rushes to Andrew's door and shows him the messages. Andrew reassures her. Everything is okay. He'll talk to Nina. As he calms her down, he starts kissing Millie. She knows that this is wrong, but she kisses back and they spend the night together. In the morning, Andrew and Millie rush home. Nina comes home and everything looks normal. She apologizes for last night and asks Millie how her night went. Millie lies, saying that she spent it with a friend. Out of the blue, Nina brings up Millie's past. She'd been in prison for 10 years before coming here. Millie just stands there. She can't look at Andrew. Her voice disappears. Millie feels ashamed. Nina hands Millie the keys to her own car and a list. Go buy these things for Cece. At the store, Millie bumps into one of Nina's friends, who reveals the maid's phones can usually track every text and movement. Millie feels scared. Her chest starts to rise faster. She knows Nina has found out about everything and now wants revenge. As Millie walks out of the store, police arrest her, saying that this car has been reported stolen. Andrew shows up, explains everything, and gets her released. Back home, Nina confronts them both and wants Millie to go back to prison. Andrew can't take it anymore. He orders Nina to leave immediately. Nina slaps Millie before driving away in her car. The next few days, Millie and Andrew live like a happy couple. Everything is perfect. One morning, while making breakfast, Millie startles at Enzo staring through the glass door. The plates slip from her hand and crash on the floor. Millie screams. Andrew rushes in. He fires Enzo on the spot and tells Millie to save the pieces. He'll get it repaired later. In the evening, Andrew returns with champagne and dinner. He spots the unwashed, broken plates. Millie didn't want to get cut, so she left them as they were. The lovers head to the attic and spend the night together. In the morning, Millie wakes alone. The door is locked. Everything she believed was a lie. See, Andrew isn't the perfect husband everyone thinks. He's manipulated Nina for years. Nina was never psychotic. Fate and bad luck led her here. As a teen, low-confidence Nina reached law college, had an illegitimate child with a married professor who abandoned them. To provide for her newborn daughter, Nina had to spend countless hours struggling to make ends meet. One day, she met Andrew, and they got married pretty soon. Everything was perfect. But slowly, Andrew changed. Andrew started noticing that Nina's hairline wasn't properly taken care of. He got obsessed with it and kept on about it all the time. But Nina ignored it, so he locked her in the attic and forced her to pluck out 100 hair strands. After opening the door, he drugged her and told the police that Nina tried to drown Cece while he was away at work. The police threw her in a psychiatric hospital. She came back, but the torment didn't end. Every time she tried to get away, Andrew would find a way to punish her even more. It seemed like there was no escape. Until Millie. She knew that Andrew liked to be loved and praised. And Millie was just the type of girl that Andrew wanted. Enzo helped Nina a lot. He was the only one who believed her. But if anyone can deal with Andrew, it's Millie. Millie's childhood was also a nightmare. In a fit of rage and terror, she killed the student who was forcing himself on her roommate. No one believed her. Even her roommate betrayed her, refusing to testify. Millie, betrayed and alone, landed 15 brutal years in prison. Now, after surviving that hell, she's trapped again, locked in the attic, walls closing in like prison bars. Tears stream down her face as she screams, "Let me out!" But Andrew feels nothing for her pain. His obsession? His mother's precious plates. A cold voice says, "Cut yourself 21 times." Millie resists at first, but she knows survival demands the hard way. Trembling, she slices her abdomen 21 times, each cut a scream of agony. The girl collapses on the filthy mattress, breathes faintly, and waits for death. Andrew enters the room. In a surge of intense rage, Millie grabs the butter knife she found hidden in the room and stabs it into his neck before escaping the room. She slams the door, locking her tormentor inside. Downstairs, she devours a sandwich, inhales the water, and starts to think. Climbing back up to the attic, she slides pliers under the door. She says, "Pull out your front tooth, now." Andrew resists, screaming. She shatters the remaining china, each crash making his mom's legacy shatter into several pieces. Panic breaks him, and he yanks the tooth out, blood dripping from his mouth. Millie smirks and tells the monster, "I'll be back in the morning." This time, she's not the victim. She's the one in control. In the darkness of the night, Nina comes to the mansion. She can't bear leaving Millie alone with that monster. She has to save her. Trembling, she opens the attic door. Andrew waits like a demon, waiting to be liberated. Millie hits him in the neck and manages to get away. Now Andrew is alone with Nina. He tells her to come back to him and leave everything that happened in the past. Nina has had too much, and coming back to him would be a worse fate than death itself. Just when Andrew is about to kill Nina, Millie shows up and pushes Andrew off the stairwell. Nina drops the bulb on him, saying that Andrew fell while fixing a light bulb. Millie tells Nina that no one will believe her story. The police arrive, and Nina talks to a female officer who tells her she knows who Andrew really is. She tells Nina that maybe this was a freak accident and goes away. At the funeral, Andrew's mother is more upset about a missing tooth than the death of her son. Everyone is crying, except for the ones who truly knew him. Nina walks up to Millie, hands her a check for $100,000, and says her farewell. Now Nina is finally free from that monster, and our Millie has found her way into another house with an abusive husband. But this time, she is ready to pay back the pain. Not broken anymore. This time, she's the nightmare. If you enjoyed this story, make sure to like the video and press the bell icon and subscribe for more dark, twisted stories like this. Because trust me, this is just the beginning.